Hello, grade 10. We're doing activity 4.10 on page 77. Well, we're going to do a calculator. We're going to create a calculator. And we're going to open intermediate calculator from your folder. And two numbers are going to be input, and people are going to click on the buttons: plus, minus, times, divide, square root, round. And then the answer is going to be displayed in a label right at the top here. Now, when you open your program, you will see that there's a problem. When you try and run it, it says there are errors. Well, because VCL forms and some other weird looking folder exists in the data files. I'll show you. You don't fiddle with the folders there. Don't worry about them, but I'm going to show you what's there. The reason why at 132, that says that another version of Delphi was used to create this program, and we just have to fix it. So if you ever come across this, this is what you have to do. First of all, let's see, we're going to remove all the WinNappy names here in the users section. So we go to the code, okay, F12, go to the code, delete all WinNappy dot, VCL controls dot, forms, delete all the VCL dot, VCL dot. We also have to delete all the system dot, all VCL dot delete. Make sure we don't have any duplicates here. We've got Windows, messages, sysutils, variants, classics, graphics, controls, forms, dialogues, standard controls. Oh, we can add one here called math. Remember, we always like to have math there. Everything else is fine except in this underscore p, this thing that came up. We're going to delete the VCL forms dot. Okay. Leave everything else as it is. We do file, save all. Okay, after you've done that, file, save all. Okay, and then you run the program again and see if it gives us error again. Okay, click OK. And right, what can't it find? Can't find our T4 main taskbar, main for one taskbar. Okay, yep. Okay, that would be the problem. C users, documents where listens. Okay. Okay. Right. What you're going to do is you're going to save this program into its own place. Okay. You're going to save this program somewhere else. So you go to File, Save As. Right. Make a new folder in your data files or wherever you've saved it. Let's make a new folder. I'm going to call it Intermediate Calculator. Correct. So I've made a folder. Open it, and I'm going to use Intermediate Calculator under U and save. Then I'm going to say File, Save Project As. So first I did File, Save As, then I did File, Save Project As. Then I have to go and navigate to that same folder where I put the other one, and there we just keep the name as it is and click on Save. Alright, and then I'm going to run it again and see if we have a problem. Okay, well then that means that we need to move something over here. Form calculator, main form on taskbar. Well, that's probably what the problem is. So what I'm going to do is close, open Delphi again. Now these things are quite tricky. See, whenever you write, I probably use the community edition to write this. That's why they've got that Win32 or another version of Delphi. It's very important that we do get this right. So that we know what to do if we ever come across this again. So now I've got a dpr.proj, and it saved a Win32 folder even there, and that is because it had a different view. If I want to go and look at my if I go to debug layout, no, like that view, I want to see the project. I don't want to find that. I don't want to find that project. Full configuration. All projects. Okay. Let's just have a look at that project file again. We need to look at that project file. Not units. Well, no, I can see the units. It's fine. File. I know where that is. Okay, default layout. Well, I'm going to try something else here. I'm going to get rid of this Win32. Okay. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to get rid of all of these things except for the dpr.res.dfm.pas. The only ones that you need are these four: .dpr.res.dfm.pas. Now if you can't see your file extensions, go to view and make sure file name extensions are there, and also view hidden items, because there's a history as well, and delete the history folder. So I'm going to open Delphi again and open that program. This is the program that we saved separately. Remember, we saved into a different folder. I'm going to open it again after I've deleted all those other folders and files. I'm going to pretend that I'm starting from a new program, except I'm not. I'm opening an existing one. And I'm going to go to my folder where I'll save that and open the DPR. Okay, that's the underscore. You just get rid of the welcome page. Now let's run and see what happens. And it works perfectly fine. So that's what we had to do with that program. I'm trying to move this window and I can't move it. Come on, move. Okay, you can see it on the right hand side of the screen. It's very awkward. It's in the wrong place. I don't like it over there. Move, move, move. It doesn't want to move. I can change the size, but it won't allow me to move. Ah, there we go. So now it runs fine. I had to delete all of those other folders and so on. And if you are confused, I'll do it again. I'll say no to save changes there. So, all right, we'll go back and do it again. Open Delphi 2010. And it's good that we're getting this practice, because you will, in the future, find that you're opening a different version of Delphi. File open, files that are made from a different version of Delphi. It will always happen. So it was the 04 intermediate calculator, that's what it was. And we open the dproj, there's that offending Win32 folder. We know, okay, we're going to have a problem now. Open that. Now remember that I did remove all the dots in front of these names, and it still gave an error message. Okay, like that. And what I had to do then was to delete all these other files, but I'm not going to delete them while the program's open. All those other files that are inside the intermediate calculator, if I go and delete all of the ones that I want to delete, you have to delete them before this is actually going to work. what we did was we saved it. Remember, we did file save as and file save project as, put in another folder. You might not have to do that. If I go in, after I've removed all the .com and whatever in front of these units here in the user section, I'm closing Delphi and I'm going to remove my history and that one and dproj.local, anything that I don't want to have there. There's only 4 files that you need in any program, and this is very important. There's only 4 that you need: the .dpr, .res, .dfm and .pas, unless you have a database or a text file or something else there. For now, this is what you must remember, that those are the 4 that you need, and you need to go into view and make sure you can see your file name extensions and hidden items. Now we've removed that, and this is from the original data files, the intermediate calculator. Okay, so I'm going to open Delphi again. If you do get confused, I'm always going to watch the video again. Eh? So I'm opening Delphi. I'm opening the program again from the original data files folder where I've deleted those others, and I fixed the see, that is the one that I did before we know it worked, and this one I've just fixed and deleted files, and now I've only got .dpr. So I click on .dpr and click open. If you cannot see the .dpr, you should be able to make sure you can see details here. See this little button over there? See the details, guys. Very important. We want to see details. And yeah, so you click on the .dpr and click on open. Now let's run it and see if it'll work. And hold thumbs for that. And yes, it did. So I didn't have to save it into another place. No, I didn't have to. All I had to do was go and delete those other files like I showed you. So now we can carry on as normal. Okay, and this was activity 4.10, and we're going to write code for each of these buttons and display in a label. Where's the label? Well, look on the left hand side, you'll see the LBL answer there. If you click on it, there's the big label, and it's all been formatted and everything, so we don't have to worry about that. In other words, they changed the font and size and everything over here in the object inspector already for that label, and we don't have to worry about that. Now this is EDT number 1, that's EDT number 2, and for each button we're going to either add, subtract, times, divide, and so on. Let's go and do that code, because that is what they said we must do. Create the event handler for the buttons. So each button is going to have its own event or handler or code, whatever you want to call it. Code in this button. The first button is the plus button. Double click the plus button. Now we want to go and get the numbers, store them into some numbers, rnum1, rnum2, two real numbers, rnum1, comma rnum2, colon real, and we go and get it from the edit boxes. And by the way, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be copying and pasting this. Not so. EDT number 1 and EDT number 2. But we can't say that because the real numbers on the left hand side, strings on the right hand side. We better go and convert that string to float. Okay, and guess what I'm going to copy and paste? Copy and paste is your friend, guys. You're allowed to copy and paste in program. In fact, it'll save you loads of time typing. You see how quick that was. And I'll just change the numbers. EDT number 2.text, and we are adding the two numbers up. We can make a variable for it, I suppose. Okay, fine. Our answer equals rnum1 plus rnum2, and the answer is must go into LBL answer dot caption equals our answer. Is that right? Nope, it's wrong, wrong, buzzer. Left hand side is a string, right hand side is a real number. So what must we do? Float to string, open brackets, put our answer inside the brackets. And that's that one done. Am I going to do a format? Nah, lazy. I'm lazy. I'm not going to format the real number. Now the negative one, double click the minus. Guess what I'm going to do? Copy and paste. Make sure I have begin and end and everything. And instead of a plus, we can use a minus. So I just type a minus in there. And you see, rnum1. We're going to assume that they want to subtract rnum2 from rnum1. We'll assume, and that's fine. Everything else is the same. And yes, these variables are named the same, but that's fine. You can do that because these are called local variables. In this button click event, they will only be available in memory or RAM when this button click is clicked, and when this end happens, then these variables will be disappeared from RAM. And then we go and click the other button for minus. This is the minus button click. Then the variables will be declared again, and at the end those variables will be deleted. So these variables are only active while this procedure button click is happening, the button btn minus click, and only available while btn plus is clicked. So guess what we're going to do for all the others? Yep, you guessed right. We're going to copy and paste, and now we're going to do it times. And then for the division, double click the division button, Control V to paste, and we're going to divide. Now we're going to have a float to string. You see this our answer, float to string. When you divide, you might have 100 decimal points. So let's go and format for division. We go and format our answer, float to string f fixed, comma 8, comma, let's make it 3, or wait, let's make it 1 decimal. There we go. So there I've put my formatting for division, because I know I'll probably get like 100 decimal points, and that won't fit into our label, which is very small. So that's those done. The plus, minus, and times and divide. Come on, you come over here. Come. Oh my word! Can't seem to drag it. Okay, I'm sure you can look left. Right. So what are we going to put? Put a number. Can you see these numbers have been right aligned? 23.5, 67.4. I can put any numbers in there. Add them, subtract them, multiply them, divide them. 23 divided by 67.4. This is a cool calculator. See. Now what about square root and round? Right, square root works with real numbers, so we're fine. We're good with real numbers, so we can copy and paste. Control C, so we can use the same variables. But the answer, square root, what do they mean by square root? The square root of which number? We can only square root one number, you know what I mean? Maybe we need to square root whatever's in the caption. But we can't square. Are we going to square root both numbers? Are we going to get the square root of both numbers, or are we going to get the square root of that number 17 in the caption? Well, really weird. I would say let's square root the number that's in the caption. Right, so that's going to be a bit tricky. So rnum1 is going to be, in fact, we're not going to use rnum1. rnum2, sorry, we won't use rnum2. rnum1 is going to be whatever's in the caption. LBL answer dot caption. Instead of the input from the edit boxes, we're going to take the caption and get what rnum is, and the answer is going to be square root of rnum1. I'm just using the variable there. I deleted rnum2, and I'm taking the caption property of LBL answer, whatever was put there. I'm taking the caption and I'm going to square root it and then display the result back into LBL answer.caption. Study that code. Getting the text from the caption of the LBL answer, converting it to a real number, setting it to a variable called rnum1, and then our answer is going to be the square root of that variable, and then go and put our answer into LBL answer.caption. Sounds good to me. That means we can't use the square root button unless we have, let's use some simple numbers here, shall we? 4 plus minus times. What if you want to get the square root of it? Oh, we need to round it, eh? We need to round our square root because that looks messy. So let's float to string f. We now BTN square root, float to string f. Our answer, comma, if it fixed, comma 8, comma 1. There we go. Float to string f. And then we'll see that we will have a rounded number that we don't have to worry too much about. Let's say 5 and 2, add them, square root 2.6. Right. Now we're going to do the next button for round. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy and paste this lot from the square root click event. Control C, delete that begin, Control V. You see it looks nice. Now we want to round. Now round will return an integer, so I can just go and get rid of that there, make our I answer an integer and say I answer equals round of that number, and then this we want answer there, but integer, string on the left hand side, integer right hand side, int to string, open brackets I answer, and this must be, and there we go. So this is our round button. Why have I got errors? Int 2. Always forget the 2's. There's 2 T's there. Int 2. Well, let's go and get some random numbers in there. Plus, square root, round. So I'm rounding the square root, you know, basically. Plus, round, divided by round, and so on. And that's that done. Okay, so, and we're all done. Now we're going to go on to this one. Activity 4.10.2. Write down functions and do the following, store answers in appropriate variable. Okay, round the real number. 37.42. So we did this before, remember? We did this before. We know how to do this. Okay, so I'm going to say x I num equals round 37.2. That's it. We've done this before. We know how to do it. 7.42. Okay. Find the square root of 169. R num equals sqrt open brackets 169. That's how we do that one. Next one. Select a random between 0 and 1,000, including 1,000. I'm going to scratch that between and let's say it's from. Okay. By the way, if you want to write on your book, you can write on your PDF file. This is how you do it. How did I delete it? I highlighted and then I pressed delete on the keyboard, and then this line came up on it. Now I'm going to sign. So I'm going to go to the top here and click on this pen for signing. Okay, and then you click on the word sign. You don't worry, just click on the word sign. Okay, then when you move your mouse, you see it's got an AB. So I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to type from. That's the word that I want. And then over here I want to type to. Okay, and then I close that button there. Now as you can see, that and is also not right, so I'm going to highlight that and press delete on the keyboard, and then delete and put a line through it. And if you ever want to undo it, you can go and highlight and click that, and then it's gone. So I'll do that again, highlight, press delete on the keyboard. If I want to undo that, I'll just click on it, and there's your delete button. That will delete the line that you just put in. So you can go and edit your PDF document like that. It's fine, you're allowed to do that. So from 0 to 1,000. So I'm going to say we want to get a number from 0 to 1,000, okay, just for fun. So how do we do that? We say inum equals random range, open brackets, 0, 1001. If you want the number from 0 to 1,000, that is what you have to put in. Just memorize it, guys. Find the product. The product is multiplied. 37.4 times 4.2. So 37.4 is a real number. So rnum, not inum, rnum equals 37.2 star, and what is the other number? I've forgotten, but you're not here. 33.7 times 4.2. You know what I mean, hey? 4.2 doesn't matter if I don't have the numbers right. Oops, why have I got brackets there? Nope, nope, nope. Oh, and don't forget the semicolon after each line. Can't forget semicolons, okay? Don't forget to write your semicolons after each line. Right, next one. Find the square root of random number between 0 and 25. Square root returns a real number, okay? So we're going to have to say rnum equals square root, open brackets. Now inside brackets we're going to put in random range, and let's say between 0 and 25, guys. Let's say it's from 1 to 24, okay? Random range, open brackets, 1, 25, and that will give us a random number from 1 to 24. They said between 0 and 25, they mean 1 to 24. Now don't forget about the brackets. You have square root, and then you have random range. So there's two sets of brackets there, one inside the other. So random range has its own brackets with two parameters, and square root has its own brackets with only one thing inside, and that is that random range. So that was a bit of a trick. And you must remember that square root returns a real number. That's why we put that there. Right, I think this is long enough. And you can finish it for homework by yourself.